Float through the clear blue skies on a pleasant breeze with us in a new dice rolling area majority game, Dandelions. Thanks for joining us at Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sara Meadows, and today we're on a quest to find the best spots for our seeds to grow across a variety of vibrant, beautiful, and cozy gardens.
That's right, today we are checking out the game Dandelions from BoardGameTables.com. It's from designer Takashi Sakao with art from Anka Garville and Daniel Profiri. It's a 2 to 3 player strategic movement game that's got fun, simple rules, but thinky turns and twists.
To set up the game, you lay out the gardens and give each player their set of colored dice.
Everyone rolls all their dice at the start of the game, and then they take turns using one die to determine how many spaces they will move their totem.
You move the number of spaces shown on your die, but if your final move would have you land on another player's token, then you instead float the same number of spaces again until you have an empty space to land on.
That's where you'll plant your seed die, and then it's the next player's turn.
When you plant your seed though, if there's already another player's die there that matches your die, you create a gust and must move all of the matching numbered dice to an adjacent garden.
Players will continue taking turns and moving their totem from garden to garden until they have played all of their seeds, and then they will total up their score to find out who won.
The game comes with a handy dry erase scoreboard.
Which I gotta say is maybe the nicest dry erase marker I've seen in a board game in a long time.
Players will score the number of dice they have in each garden multiplied by the value of that garden. So here, for example, green would score 3 points, and here green would score 16 points.
Players will also score points based on area control. Whoever has the most seeds in each garden will get to score their pip value. So here, yellow would get to score 6 more points for this garden. Scoring in the game is actually really interesting, especially the breaking of that tie. The way the ties work is if you have the same number of dice on a garden as another player at the end of the game, you're only the person who breaks the tie is the person who has the lower pip value. So I've seen a number of situations where I was robbed. I had like a 5 and 6 and a 5 on that 4 garden, and I was going to score big points. Somehow, somebody else's 1 die got on there, which is really funny. They ended up scoring their 3 1-point dice because of the lower pip value, which is a huge score differential, and it happens a lot in the game.
Yeah, you really do need to pay attention to what other players are doing. This is only a 2 or 3 player game, so there's only a couple of people you need to pay attention to. But trying to manage expectations of where the other player is going to try and land to place their dice, looking at which ones they already have out, which ones you have out, trying to get to the space that you need, seeing that, oh, they don't even have any 3s left, so if I put all my 3s on this space, I can hopefully try and get the majority there and get some extra points. So there's a lot of thinking and anticipating what other players are going to do.
Yeah, and it is nice because you can, for the most part, kind of plan ahead and know how many dice they have. There is one spot on the board, that very first spot, where if you land your totem on that spot, then you do have to, /get to, really have to, roll all your dice again, which can change up stuff, after that first or second lap around the game. Otherwise, you have a pretty good feel for where people are going to go. Hopefully, you're kind of trying to guess and hope that you can, land on top of this guy and gust the rest of the way to that 8-pointer. That's really what you're kind of fighting over in the game. There's only a single spot on that 8-point flower. You want as many of your dice to be there at the end of the game as you can so you can score it twice, basically.
Yeah, the first space does require you to take that reroll, which depending on when that happens, that could really change up how gameplay. If you saved your higher value dice to try and play on those higher petals or gardens, and then you get back around and you end up landing on that space, then you re-roll, and then if you roll low, then you're like, oh, my dice are low. So,
but sometimes you roll low to get the duplicate so that you can bump other people's. There's a lot of different ways to go in the game. The game is for 2 or 3 players. The gameplay experience is identical for that number. You don't change anything. This is my only this is my like gamer elitism, snobberishness coming in. The only suggestion I would have had for this game is that the front and backs of those pedals is identical. You could have easily given me like an additional variation on the game or something by just having the backs of those have different point values or different number of spaces for the totems to go, or having that be different for 2 players or something. It is the same front and back on both tiles, so the gameplay experience for 2 to 3 players is very similar. The only difference is you've only got one other player to hop on top of and do your math with. Otherwise, the game rules are exactly the same and the gameplay experience is the same.
Yeah. If this sounds like something you're interested in, you can check out Dandelions from BoardGameTables.com. We've thoroughly enjoyed the game, and we've played it a number of times with a few different levels of gamers, and I think for the most part everybody had a good experience trying to math out where they need to go.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm actually getting ready to take this to a game night tonight because it's a quick, easy one to teach and have some fun with. So if you're interested in it, check it out. And then, as always, thank you so much for tuning in, liking our videos, subscribing, all that good stuff. See you guys in the next one. Like dandelions in my yard, but I do like dandelions on my table.
You can eat them.
Checking out the game Dandelions from guardboardkitchener.com. Start over.
The edge of the petals, the garden, so that it shows up where they need to go. Sorry.
I was like, where'd she go?
I know, I had a path I was following and I lost it.